Welcome to Shoulder Tap, everybody's favorite segment. I'm John Hoagland, and the star of the show, Mick Ironimo, is with us. How are you feeling this morning, Mick?
I'm not feeling too great today, as a matter of fact. Under the weather, but I'm
Oh,
going to power through this. Thanks for asking. How are you feeling, John?
I'm feeling pretty good. You look tremendous, Mick. I gotta tell you.
Thanks. I got my new my Fed earplugs. I got the Fed mustache, the Fed earplugs. I'm ready to go. Let's do this. I'll power
All
through it.
right, all right.
Um,
Traders are moving.
yeah, some good stuff. We got a lot of good trading this week. Like I said, the waters are warm. Lots of nice big P&Ls. We got a guy in an XFA who's up 28 grand on the day today. I'm going to talk about our
Beautiful.
live traders though. Shout out to before we do the shout outs. Yesterday we had one XFA to live call up and no offboards. We already got one offboard today though. That was Jonathan M, who I talked about a little bit yesterday. If you remember, John, this was the guy in a live account. He had a $3,200 balance. He risked $3,000 of the $3,200. And I said yesterday he was going to be done today. He lost that other $200 today. So
Got it. Yeah.
I'm starting with him because that bothered me. And we talked about it yesterday. I'm going to mention it one more time, though. If you got 3,200 left in your account, do not risk 3,000 in a trading day. Split it up, give yourself a few swings at the plate, and turn things around. Someone I'm going to talk about today, Fatima, who I've got a trading card for. We're not going to pull it up now, but I'm going to talk about her. And this is someone who's done the exact opposite of what Jonathan has done. She's made really nice adjustments. We'll talk about her in a little bit. But before we get to that, shout out to Rips. He's on a 5-day win streak for a little over $11,000. He's been doing really well.
Nice.
Saw he was up
Rips.
a couple bucks this morning, about 400, could be more now. I have a shout out for Jonathan R, John R, who we'll talk about in our first trading card, but he's up good today. I am going to give him a hard time about yesterday, though. He was up 4,500 in the day at one point. I talked about him yesterday. Finished the day down 3,000. It's not the first time he's done this. We will go into a couple of those other examples because I know he watches this show. So I'm going to keep talking about him, not keeping his money if he's going to keep doing what he's doing, because I think he's got a good eye for the markets. He's just not keeping that money that he's making. And we'll do some addition when we get to him. And it's to the tune of a large sum. So anyways, shout out to Isaac R, one of our live traders. He was up 7,000. He locked in $7,037 yesterday. I know he was watching the segment earlier. I saw he had sent a message in. Farouz up $5,600 today in their live account. So really, really good stuff. Let's dive into the trading cards and talk about John R a little bit.
All right, Mick, you talked about doing some math. Are you good at public math?
I didn't do the addition, but I can talk a little bit about the values that I wrote down. So, oh yeah, I forgot today. It's a California day today. Everybody we're featuring is from California. All of our live traders.
Nice.
So I want to dive in and talk about John. John started his live account with $20,000. He traded well in his XFA. Actually, he traded well. The money added up in the end, but I remember talking about him weeks ago on this segment saying, high risk, high reward, don't have, a huge level of confidence. And we looked to call him up on multiple days, but we kind of, held off and, for good reason, but he also got called up for good reason. I'm talking about him now for good reason. It hasn't been many trading days, but only 5 days in the live account. Of those 5 days, 4 have been losers, only 1 winner. He's been up money every single day that he's traded in this account, but he's not capturing it. Hogue, I know you got the trade report up. He's only putting up 36% winning trades. He's trading big size too. So the money that he makes can go very quickly when he's got size on. I think if he finds himself up money in the day and continues trading into the close, which he tends to do, he trades kind of all day long.
Sure.
I think scaling down his position sizing would be a good thing. And that's something for everybody to consider too, because if we're working our positions from the long side or the short side, we have a directional bias on the day. as you get later on into the session, the odds and probabilities of that trend continuing do decrease. Now, obviously, we can have days where it trends all day long. I'm not saying
Right.
that doesn't happen, but the
They don't happen
probability,
very often.
they don't happen very often. And then also, we also always have those days where it's, trend up in the morning and trend down in the afternoon. So if you think about the second half of the day for anybody, I will always talk about locking in profits. But if you're up money going into the afternoon and you're going to keep trading, it's always good to decrease your position sizing and risk a little bit less, because probability of trends decreases. Also, if you're scaling your position sizing down, you're assuming less risk, which means the
Right.
money that you have profited is not up for grabs anymore. You're locking it in. And if you decrease your position sizing, you're more likely to keep that. So,
All right, Mick. So speaking of locking it in, John is in the chat. He says he's up 10K right now and promises no more trades today.
all right, good. So that means he's locking in 10,000 of his $12,000 that I saw him up. John, if I got to keep talking about you on this segment, in order for you to lock in these profits, I'm going to do it. I hope you don't mind. I'm happy you chimed in. And John, thanks for catching that. So that's an awesome day. John, tap on the back, 10,000 out of 12,000. That's really good. That's keeping a large percentage of a significant profit, which is something we talk about all the time, John.
And now you can keep him accountable. He said it. He's done.
Good. Yeah. If you say you're done, be done. I know a lot of traders that I've spoken to say, I'm calling it a day, I'm done for the day, and then they keep going in and trading in the markets, and they have big losses. So good job today, John. I'm going to talk about some of these other trading days. Hogue, I'm looking at a trade report right here. So John, day one in his account was also up $12,000. He finished that day down $4,000. It's a $16,000 swing there. There was another day where he was up $3,400, finished down $3,400, $6,800 swing there. And then yesterday, like I mentioned, he was up $5,000 and finished the day down $3,400 again. So that's a $16,000 swing. That's a $6,800 swing. And that's an $8,400 swing. Those are big, big swings on a $20,000 account. So for anybody listening, it's your job to hold on to some of those big profits. Like I said, I mean, every single day in this live account so far, he's been up to start, but hasn't finished them all up money. So
it's making my heart hurt, John. It's making my heart hurt to see this.
Yeah,
You gotta keep some of those profits. You start out good. You got a good day going. Keep some of it.
Yeah. But he's doing things well. I mean, I like the hold times a lot. He's keeping his winning trades for 40 minutes on average. Losing trades only 20 minutes. So that's a result of someone who's got a higher time frame bias, has the guts to stick in one of these big positions with 10 or 15 contracts and ride it out. But at the same time, it's kind of hurt him a little bit too, because he's holding on to the losers for 20 minutes and giving these days back. So I think I've kind of critiqued this enough. John, good job today. I want to see higher winning day percentages. The area to improve by keeping your money. I mean, if you can take out as much money as you are taking out at one point in time during the trading session and keep some of it, this is going to be a big account balance. John, I challenge you right now to make it to that 100K club. You can do it if you keep your profits. I want everybody joining this 100K club.
32. We're looking at about, if he kept his high watermark on all of these days, with the 20K he started the account with, he'd be up about 30, up to about 37,000, something like that. 20,000. So that's 31, 34, well, even more. 42, 48,000.
Yeah.
Right. That's big money, man. It's good trading.
Thank you for doing the math there. That paints a little bit of a picture. So today with this $10,000 day, he's locking in He's right where he started 5 days ago or 6 days ago in this live account, right around that $20,000 mark. So, yeah, I mean, that's 6 days. What you just rattled off, John, that's 6
Hmm.
days of trading. And we're
Yeah.
talking about a $28,000 difference. Now, think about, the adjustments that could be made here and the dollar value at the end of 2024, what that could potentially be. I mean, it could be
Huge.
astounding. I mean, this is, if you extrapolate some of these things and look at, what he could take down in this year alone,
Right.
it's staggering money. So, John, take down the staggering money.
Yeah.
LFG, let's go. Um, Okay, so Brett had actually, our other risk manager had said, Mick, I had a really great conversation with Fatima this morning and a couple of days this week too. I want to pull up the trading card for Fatima and I want to talk about her a little bit. And I've only got nice things to say about her. She is struggling in this account. And I'm not pulling her up here to talk about her struggles. I'm pulling her up here to talk about what she's doing and what she's doing right, because she might be struggling, as you can see from some of the metrics on here, the average daily P&L. She's
Sure.
traded 52 days in this live account, so she's in a drawdown, but she's taking control of what she's doing, and she's had some struggles taking control. I like her a lot because she reaches out and she says, I have a problem with this. She's been active in the chat. She calls the risk line to talk to us about making improvements. So she's asking for help and she's making adjustments on this account. Also, shout out to her yesterday for putting up $3,000 in the live account.
Very nice. Yep.
We're very, very happy about that. But some of the things she's doing well here, despite struggling, is making adjustments. So she's in the 150K. She started with a $3,000 daily loss limit. She's also had some issues early on in her account about locking in profits. I know we kind of talked to her about, and on this segment, about locking in 50% of significant profits.
Sure.
She's making adjustments. She used to be more active in her trading and have bigger swings when that account balance was up higher. She has decreased the number of trades she's making, which, John, it's really, really apparent in the trade report if you're looking at it.
Yes, it is.
Bottom of that
Yes,
trade
it is.
report, there's a lot of activity. The top portion over the last few weeks, there's a lot less activity. So fewer trades, smaller position sizing. Despite having a $3,000 daily loss limit in this account, it's currently sitting at $500 to protect herself. She's doing things
Sure.
and asking for help to protect herself in her trading. And we are here to do that for our live traders. We want to accommodate and help people out. That 500 daily loss limit, earlier this week, it was 250. So think about that for a little bit. Someone that on the standard parameters of this account can risk up to $3,000. They actually limited themselves to $250 a day. And while doing so, they were trading one contract. They had a couple, and the loss limit wasn't at 250 for a very long period of time, but it was like, all right, I got to really do something to keep this account. I'm going to take control, make some changes. And she had a couple winning days, $3,000 winning day yesterday being one of them. Helped her out with the confidence. We all need to be confident. And if you don't have that confidence, your performance will be affected. So built a little confidence up when we kept that 250 daily loss limit. Now it's at 500. We'll see what happens from here. But I have nothing but respect for this trader. I don't care if you're struggling. I don't care if you're lights out trading. If you are taking control and making adjustments, you've really got a future in this business, this competitive, hard business with high failure rates, low success rates. All traders need to be doing this. They need to be journaling, reflecting on what they're doing, and being flexible and nimble enough to weather storms and turn this around. I wouldn't be surprised if a few weeks from now I could share Fatima's trading card again, and we'll see things have been turned around. Average daily P&L is going to be positive. We'll see more winning trades. We'll see more winning days. Now we don't have any metrics on the trade report that show this, but since she has become more selective with her trades, the winning trade percentage, this is a big sample size, what's printed on the board here. The winning trade
Right.
percentage has increased in the last few weeks, which I like to see. This is progress. This is making changes, and yeah, good on her. Really good on her. And I want to stress again, Brett has built a nice relationship up with her. They speak on the phone on a weekly
Great.
basis, and that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for.
Awesome. So when and this is, I think, a good lesson for all traders. Things are going to go well for a while. Things aren't going to go well for a while. If you continue to do what you're doing when things aren't going well, you're going to expect probably some of the same performance. I love the fact that Fatima is working on it. She's making changes. She's reducing her risk. She is working to dig herself back into a higher account balance brick by brick. She is going to be a much better trader. Not that she isn't a good trader already, but she's going to be a much better trader because of this.
She is. She certainly is. So keep it up. Keep being flexible. We always have to be nimble, making adjustments when we're in drawdowns. And I know she's got the stuff for success. So keep working. And same goes for everybody else. Keep working on it. Keep working on it.
Yep.
Keep working on it. Someone who's been working on it. Jab, jab, jab. Yep. Someone who's been working on it really well is Lenore, another trader out of California. Got called up to a live account yesterday, and we've got good metrics to talk about here with Lenore. Average daily P&L, $484. They traded in their XFA for 27 days before we called them up. So what you're seeing here is consistent profitability. 83% winning trades. That's magnificent over 27 days in an account. And that translates to 78% winning days. They've got nice hold times, similar to John R., who I talked about on the first card. High times on the winners, 50 minutes, and 33 minutes on the losses. So this tells me that Lenore is someone who has a little bit of tries to catch the trend for the day. You don't see hold times of 50 minutes on winning trades for people that are scalping. And I'll say it,
right.
I've said it before, I'll say it now, I'll say it again. For day traders, most money is made catching a piece of the trend for the day. It's very, very difficult to be a scalper these days on these electronic markets. If you're a scalper, chances are you're looking for small profits, but trading NASDAQ or any equity indices, on the screen, the market can go against you very quickly. So, why risk 10 ticks or more to, scoop up 5 ticks? We're not trading in the pits anymore. And I kind of like to say, scalping is like trying to ice skate uphill or do that skimming that Michael was doing, where you put the skins on the bottom of the skis and go uphill. I don't like that. I'm all for gravity bringing me down. Same thing goes for downhill mountain biking. I don't like riding stuff uphill. And I think scalping is really fighting an uphill battle. Of these trades that he's, taken down, averaging about 12 trades per day. And that's on a contract basis. So not trading massive size, but kind of averaging in and averaging out on their trades. Something that I really like, and this is something we look at when it comes to the call-up process, is Lenore never hit the daily loss limit. They've had some bigger losing days, but they never hit that $3,000 daily loss limit. I like that. I'll say a lot of times on these cards, contain your losses. They're doing a decent job about doing that. And another thing I like, when it comes to the daily P&Ls and metrics is they've had some big winning days. Biggest winning day, their best day was over $2,700. But these P&Ls are scattered all over the place, anywhere from $300 up to the $2,700. And it makes me think about the conversation we had earlier this week, John, about, people not having an idea of how much they want to make on average in a day. I think the example I used was, I'm going to average $5,000 a day. Like, no, the money's a byproduct of good trades. They're finding a lot of good trades, and they're taking what the market gives them. So, they're content making $300 or $500 a day. Hey, I saw an opportunity. I took it. It worked out. I'm not going to force any other trades to hit this $1,000 mark or this $4,000 mark. They're just taking what the market gives them. And that's extremely important. I've shared this on TV before. I used to sit next to a guy who was a large trader in the wheat pit and on the screen. I know that he had a 7-figure winning day back in the day. So he made over $1 million one day. And one day I asked him what his P&L was for the day, like I used to do, being a little nosy 22-year-old kid sitting around some guys that were a lot smarter than me. And he's like, made $75 today, had a good day. And I'm like, what? Like, yeah, it was a profitable day. But it was kind of eye-opening that someone that had, could have very large winning days, and that $1 million day was an anomaly for them. They were happy making $75. They're like, yeah, it pays for lunch for my clerk and I.
There you go.
So be content, with any profitability. I see a lot of the big swinging traders that lose their accounts are not content with only making, small sums of money, but, your job as a trader, and I don't even want to apply this to a daily basis. Like at the end of the week, you should have more in your account than you did at the beginning of the week. We're going to have losing days. So obviously we want to find good trades that would keep us profitable every single day, but that ain't going to happen. So, have more in your account at the end of the week than you did at the beginning of the week. If you're thinking about that, you're going to not let yourself hit your daily loss limit throughout the day. You're going to stop earlier. You're not going to turn big winning days into losing days. You're going to capture that money. So these are all some, things that really small changes that are implemented over a long period of time have staggering differences and impacts on your bottom line. And it's all about the bottom line. We just try and do it every day.
Now, Mick, Leonore, I just added up. 19 out of 27 trading days, they stopped at their high water mark for the day. They made money, they walked away. There were only a couple of instances where they were up money and then actually ended up, losing money on the day. They on those days they weren't up much. So, we're up 500. We keep trading, we lose, 2,600. We're up, what's the other one here? We're up 600. We end up pretty close to the daily loss limit. And as you mentioned, they never did touch or reach the max drawdown or the daily loss limit, but they got pretty close.
They got close, yeah.
But on days when Leonard starts up, he usually finishes up. He's got the right idea. He's got the market going the right direction. He's making money, and he's saying, $2,000. That's a lot of money. I'm done for the day. I'm going to walk away. I'm not going to risk it. The way I did previously. I just love the fact that they're not getting dollar signs in their eyes when they're up money. They're getting to a good profit for the day and saying, I'm walking away. And, the one thing I would say is when you start the day up money, don't let it get back down below. Don't lose money on a day that you start money up. And because, those small up days ended up being your worst losing days. Don't let that happen. Just a suggestion if you're listening. But, the fact that they are ending the day at a high rate at their high watermark. And we're not talking about small money here. We're talking about $1,500, $1,500, $2,000, $2,600, $1,500, $2,000, these are great days, 2,700. If you can do that and trim those losses on the down days, there's only one day that really upsets me. And he was up $2,000, ended up down 2,300. That was an anomaly. I think he over traded and he's up $2,000. Don't let that all go. Don't let that all go.
Lock in half of it. Walk away up $1,000.
100%. Yep.
Well said, John. I knew you were going to catch those the P&L highs for the day and talk about that. Put a smile on my face when you went that route.
Well, Mick, you and I come from the same ilk, right? I mean, we worked together for
We
a long
do.
time. We've been looking at the same things for a long time. Both our dads were in the industry, and I love what you said about finishing the week positive, because my dad always said, I could double my income if I would only work 3 days a week. And I said, well, why don't you only work 3 days a week then? He said, because I don't know which two to take off.
You don't know
Which two
ones,
are going to be
right?
the bad ones, right? So I'm sure your dad felt a lot the same way. So, uh, how is Jay doing, by the way?
He's good, thanks. He's good. We're gonna throw a banging 1 year old birthday party at his house in a couple weeks. My daughter turns 1 in February, so we got a lot of family coming over to the house. Figured it'd be better to fit people in his place, trash his place, than
And yours,
than
right?
in my own place. Yeah.
Well, I'll
I'll
look for
tell him
my
you were
invite in the
asking
mail.
about him.
I'll look
I'd
for my
love to
invite in the mail.
love to have you join us if you want to make the hike up to Lake Geneva.
All right, Mick, great session today. Great conversation. We learned so much about trading, other traders, and ourselves as traders during this session. Really appreciate it. It's everybody's favorite session, and I'm so proud and happy to be a part of it. Thank you for involving me and giving me the opportunity to chat a little bit about these traders with you. And have a great rest of the day, man. We'll see you again tomorrow.
I appreciate that a lot, John. It means something, it means a lot coming from you. I've learned a ton from you over the years, these last 9 years that I've worked with you. Very fortunate. And, for everybody listening, I know Hoag's a great on-air personality. He's got a ton of wisdom. Listen to everything this guy says.
Sometimes good, sometimes not so good, but hey, the heart's in the right place, right?
That's right. That's right. Big heart.
Mick,
Thanks,
have a
John.
great rest of the day.